It's 5 to 8. Earlier this year, a review was launched looking at the impact of the pre-2000 ban on LGBT people serving in the military. Until 2000, it was illegal to be gay in the British military, a rule that is thought to have affected about 5,000 people in the armed forces. Though it's taken more than 20 years, this review has been welcomed by LGBT veterans, with campaigners seeking compensation for lost livelihoods and suffering. Well, Lord Terence Etherton is the chair of the review and joins me now. A very good morning to you.
Good morning.
It seems
I'm
incredible.
very pleased to be here.
Well, thank you for joining us. It seems incredible that this law existed now. How long had this ban been in place?
Well, there had been a ban both for military and civilian people on homosexual acts right up until 1967. In 1967, under the Sexual Offences Act, consenting homosexual acts between adult males was decriminalised. But this provision, criminalising effectively same-sex acts in the military, continued after 67, right up until 2000, even after there was a decriminalisation and an abolishing of the ban for the security services, MI5, MI6, and even after it was abolished, the ban was abolished for the Foreign Office.
So what were the presumptions at the time of having gay people in the military?
Well, I think from the points that were put forward by the military themselves were that the ban should stay because LGBT people were open to blackmail in the military, and that there would be a lack of discipline undermining an effective fighting force. Both of those were completely rejected in subsequent litigation, which led to the abolition of the ban in January 2000. And the only reason that there was any possibility of blackmail was because of the ban itself. So it was a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that stopped members of the LGBT community from signing up.
Well, not entirely. I mean, one of the features of the evidence that we've been receiving is that at that time you could join the military at a very young age. Now, we're talking about people who were 16, 17, or in their later teens, and many of them had not realized really or fixed on their sexuality at that time. And it was only as they were growing up within the military itself that they came to realize that they were LGBT. And you've also got to remember that many of the people who served who were LGBT came from military families that went back for generations. And the dream of the people, even if they were gay or, male, female, lesbian, or gay man, male, their dream was to serve in the military as their parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents had done so.
And this must have had an impact. These rules must have had an impact on serving members and on their families.
The impact was terrible. I mean, there's no other word for it. The military police conducted investigations that were, in most cases, utterly brutal, asking over many, many hours, several interviews, very personal questions about sexual practices, sexual preferences. People came out of those interviews extremely damaged, feeling dirty, shame, unworthy. And then once the decision had been taken that they were indeed LGBT, they were thrown out unceremoniously without any support whatsoever onto the street, literally placed at the gate, and off you go. No money for support, no money for train journeys, nothing. They had no housing. And the result of that has been an enduring mental health issue for many of these people. Lack of employment, lack of housing, all their dreams were shattered in one go, and families were disrupted. Many of them were not out to their families, and this caused terrible disruption, especially in those where there were military families, and it was a great disgrace, both by the person who'd been thrown out and by their parents, to have had this happen to them. And that's really what we're dealing with on the review now. We want to hear people's stories. This review has got three main strands to it. One, this is the first time that many of these very damaged people, embittered people, disadvantaged people have had the opportunity to tell their story in their own words. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the government wants this disaffected group, so far as possible, to take advantage of the wider veteran support that now exists for veterans generally. And the third is, so far as possible, without being able to turn the clock back, to see what just satisfaction, what restitution can be made to this group. And that may take many, many forms, not just money, but restoration of rank, restoration of commission, changing of records from dismissal with disgrace or dismissal for some other reason to good conduct, and so on and so forth. It's the one and only chance that this group will have to make their statement and their mark.
I thank you very much for joining me this morning. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.